In this video, we're going to cover Alert Public Safety Solutions' mobile CAD product, Sentinel. And to start off here, we have the login screen. Username, password, those will be provided by your administrator. And how to use RSA username and RSA PIN, those will also be provided by your administrator. Now, you don't have to use the RSA name and PIN, but if you do not, you will not have access to the state queries. So let's start off by putting in my username and password. And I can either click the login button or hit enter. Something to note is use Windows account will use the Windows authentication that you use to log into the computer as the username and password, so you can just automatically click log on. Here we get a welcome screen for the NCIC information. We'll acknowledge that by closing it out, and we're logged into the default screen of Sentinel. Now, I don't have any buttons configured. Well, I do have a few buttons configured here, but not all of them, but we'll get into that and how that information works momentarily. At the very top of the screen, you see APSS Sentinel, what version number I'm on, and that I'm connected. Now, it's important that I'm connected in order to get live updates on statuses and dispatch information and chat and all of those kind of communications, because if I'm not connected, I'll only be looking internally at my own computer's network, so I won't have any access to anything else. Here on the top left, we have my username and which incident that I'm currently assigned to, which at this point in time is no incident. So we also have the status that I'm on, which is clear, and the time. We have some tool options over here we'll get to in a little bit. And then we have these buttons at the top, which allow us to do any action that we have in CAD. We can put a button on the top there and make us do that. We can say on scene, en route, out to lunch, fuel stop, beginning miles, out to the jail, all of that kind of stuff. You can put all those in the buttons. Well, you can't put all of them in the buttons, but you can put up to however many fit across the top of the screen. Now, I'm going to jump down here to the bottom real quick because I want to increase the size of everything that you're seeing for the sake of this being a video. There is an ability to increase the zoom level of everything you're seeing on the screen, and that allows you to change things based on what kind of tablet you're using, for example, or anything else that makes readability more easy. Now let's go back up here to our overview. We have our default screen, which is on this status screen, and incident status, this tab here. This shows us all of the CAD calls that are currently going on in the system, and we can filter that view of which incidents we're seeing, whether it be just our agency or just specific agencies in certain areas and so forth. Those are all configurable to what filters you want to see, but we'll get to that momentarily as well. We also have the unit statuses here in the unit status tab, and we can see what all the units that we have in our filters are up to right now. If you go through the columns here, they kind of make sense. You can view that call that they're on. You can see this is a police type, there's a fire type, the unit name, which agency, the grid they belong to, the CAD incident number, the nature of the call they're on, what status they're on, the last time they updated that status, where their call was located, and what vehicle are they in if they have a vehicle assignment listed in there. You can also view the map. I don't have a map loaded here, but you would see the map in here. And by hovering over different tool buttons here, you'll see that you can see what location you're currently at. You can zoom in, zoom out, measure. You can pan the whole map. You can zoom to all the incidents. You can set a home button. You can see the orthos on or off. Those are those satellite images. Pictometry. Those are like pictures of the buildings, if you have that set up in your system, and then you can search for an address. Over here, we're back to the default tab it was set on. Then you have news bulletins, and you can read those by highlighting them and reading below. You have the incident history, and that's everything you've been on for the day. So if we go back to one of these and click view, we'll be able to open this dispatch, because otherwise, if I'm not on an incident, I'm not going to see dispatch by clicking it. But if I view the call, I will be in this dispatch window, and then I can look at all of the information off here to the right to see more information about the calls. So this is the incident information. I can see the caller information, the vehicles associated with this call, disposition, any alerts, warrants, images, prior history to this location. I can look at it on the map, general operating guidelines, involved parties, and unit statuses that are currently associated with this call. If we go to the NCIC screen, this is where we can run state queries. This is obviously for law enforcement. At the bottom here, you can do by vehicle, person, boat, gun, article, or OLEG. If we go to the search screen, this is a search for names. You can search by last name, business name, common location name in this box. If it's an individual, you can search by last name and then first name, middle name, and so forth. If I were to pick a name out of here, I can highlight a name and see the information below about this person, and then I can click on these different tabs to see even more information. I can go to modules here, and that opens up some buttons below here. Let's take the zoom out so we can see what the buttons read. We have accountability, BOLO, and community watch. If you have accountability, this will be a separate video and you'll learn some more information about that elsewhere. But here we'll cover BOLO and community watch. Let's click on BOLO, and any information that was entered as a BOLO you can read below here as you highlight the names. Community watch is a handy module. You can find all of the listings for community watch, business checks, vacation, house checks, any information like that. And if we were to click on one and we wanted to add a record that we checked at the Burger King, we'll add a record here. It can default the time as the beginning time or end time as the current time that it is right now. We can add a note that it checked OK and submit that, and we have a record that that business was checked. Chat works just like your cell phone chat. You highlight a person's name, you send them a message, and there you go. Since this is me, I just sent myself a message that said hello, and I received a message that said hello from me. Pretty cool. Day and night mode. And then we have the exit button. Alright, let's turn this back into day mode, and then let's take a look at some of these buttons here. We can change those to make them look a little nicer. This is more for the administrators in the department. We get 2 additional buttons now, settings and filter. If you're an administrator, we'll give you access to these areas. You can change the settings and the filters for your agency. You can set buttons like this by selecting the button action. You can actually change the name of it. You can change the button color and the text color. You can give it a hotkey. So if somebody presses F1 while this Sentinel program is up and running, it'll put them out to lunch. That's pretty much it. Once you click that button, it sets your status. So as you can see, my status changed to 23, which is out to lunch. I changed my status. The dispatchers now know that I'm out to lunch, and I'm good to go until I clear my lunch, and I would put a button here for clear. Filters. This allows you to select what you see back in that status. If you only want to see your agency, you can just pick your agency. If you want to see everybody, you can see everybody here. Same thing with grids and beats and the client type. So if I only wanted to see police type calls in my unit status, then that's what I'm at now. So keep in mind this is the unit status one, and I can click incident to see which types of incidents I'm looking at as well. Let's head back down to the bottom right hand corner. We had the view sizing that we could change. We can also connect with the desktop software, the product suite. You can print, and then there's this emergency button which will put the officer in distress and send out a signal to the dispatchers that something's gone wrong here. Up to the top right hand side of the screen, we have the use this button if the actions are erroneously locked, and so if you can't click these buttons, this will help you unlock it. This will unlock the screen and requires a password for re-entry. Here's a settings button. There's spell check and help. Let's go to the settings now. You have settings for these options. You can turn on the voice prompts. Voice prompts are things like, "Welcome to Sentinel." And then you have the sound alerts. You have new incident notification. You can view the NCIC results as parsed or raw. You can keep the button colors in night mode, so if you turn this off, you won't see the same colors that you selected here during day mode. They'll turn to maybe a dark color like this. You can set how much query history you would like to see. You can set a printer. You can clear location history, change your password, or launch attachments either in the frame of the software or allow yourself to drag them out of the frame. And once you make these changes, you'll click Submit. These are changes available to everybody, so every individual can make these changes for themselves. That's pretty much it. It's a real simple program. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact us at support@alertpss.com.